Welcome to the No Name Brand Podcast. My name is Sashka Hanarapal, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. There are probably two accents in this world that j'adore: Texan and Scottish. And today we have a Scotswoman on the show, and she is as bonkers as what I am. Her name?
Yep.
Laura Lucas. And this bundle of energy helps entrepreneurs with their divine gifts to create the impact they came here for. How? By discovering your next level soul clients and calling them in. And by honoring your gift, nurturing yourself, and working only with those who value your gift as highly as you do to co-create a better world. So please welcome me in welcoming Laura. The crowd goes wild.
Okay, the new, it's me, Laura Lucas. I'll try and be as Scottish as I can.
Can you be anything else?
No.
Well, it doesn't really define you, but still the accent gets me every single time.
It's a good marketing thing. People love the Scottish accent and I love to talk. So there we go. It's a match made in heaven.
That's bloody perfect, man. So how are you today?
I am amazing and delighted to be talking to you, of course.
Oh, yeah. It's about time.
It really is.
It's taking like forever.
It really is,
but anyway,
yeah.
that's the way it goes. So by definition, you're, in inverted commas, a business consultant. You know, where they help you with your business plan, set up financial equity, outlook on your return on investment, all those wonderful things. How long were you a business consultant before you suddenly got hit by this wave and realized, I'm not such a strong believer in the marketing and in the business consulting anymore, but rather in attracting my clients with my soul clients my way?
Yeah, it's funny because looking back now, it seems more of an evolution than a revolution. And I've been someone who denied my divine gifts for most of my life. And yet, all the while I was denying them, they were still there and they were still working for me. And I suppose it's been a gradual recognition of the fact that the work I love to do is the real deep work. It's beyond mindset. It's faith. It's actually deep faith and intimate faith. So it's one thing to have faith because the universe and because love and because everyone is loved. My brand of faith is more about the specific, intricate, intimate, detailed reasons why I am loved, why you are loved. And when we really know that and feel that, well, that trumps the hell out of mindset. You know, knowing why the universe loves you so specifically. When you feel that love from the universe, you can't not love yourself. How dare you not love yourself in the face of that? So that's the mindset work that I've been doing for a long time. I didn't call it faith back then. And it's always gone beyond just helping people move past fear, because what a lot of people miss is the juicy goodness on the other side of the fear, which is truth. So bringing people into their truth is my real gift. And when I first came into my business, I knew I did that thing, and I knew people wanted to get more clients and to make more money, and I knew I could help them do that too. And I guess I, at that time, would attract clients who all wanted the more money and the more clients, because let's face it, let's be honest here, we all want more money and more clients. But there was variation in my clients with the level to which they wanted to understand, to go deep and, you know, do the real mindset work. So I suppose a couple of years ago, it was shifting to leading with the mindset stuff initially. And then over the last year, I would say it's really owning the spiritual element of that mindset work and owning my spiritual gifts, my very specific spiritual gifts that bring people into that truth. And then I had a couple of months ago, I had a real moment where I realized that the people I want to work with aren't even just business owners or entrepreneurs. They're people who are into this, crazy 5D with galactic guides and cosmic cosmic stuff and speaking to angels, they're my people. And I freaked myself out because I was like, oh my God, they're my people. And I don't even know what they're talking about half the time. But I feel it, and I feel it working through me. And actually, I can really help them with their human, which is the bit that a lot of these guys neglect a little bit and can't understand why all their magic doesn't work. It's because you're a human. It's because you're here on this earth. And I can help your human come into alignment with the cosmic, crazy galactic stuff. So yeah, that was just a couple of months ago I really got into that. But I think I've been, probably over the last 6 months, I've been talking about soul clients more and recognizing that your client isn't just someone who needs what you've got and happens to see you and agrees to work with you. That actually that soul connection is there before you've even met them. They're calling your work through you. You're calling them in energetically through aligning with your message, and your message is evolving all the time. And so your soul client is evolving all the time. And for most people, their soul client is much more ambitious and accomplished than they realize. And we can think, well, why do they need me? Because, hey, they've got all this stuff together, but they need you for the thing that you do that they can't do. Does that answer your question?
It definitely answers my question. And actually, it's raised up 2 more questions that I wanted to ask you, because a lot of people would go, oh, well, they'd offer you something in order to get to that point where you are now quicker. Mm-hmm. But they miss the point that you needed that as a foundation in order to come here where you are now and be able to deliver what you are delivering to who you're working with right now. And that it's always seen as a waste of time, but it's not. It's just part of, like you said, it's not a revolution, it's an evolution that you're going through. And then I wanted to then ask you, so are you still a believer? Are you still a believer in marketing or not? Or how has it evolved for you?
I'm not a believer in muggle marketing, as I call it.
Cool.
So, and marketing is different for everyone, or marketing that's effective. I think what I observe is people who have a massive calling and they are up for answering that calling, and they are brave souls who are here to change the world. And I freaking love them, and I'm one of them, and just juiciness of those people. And they come into business and they decide that they need to learn business strategy and marketing. So they go and learn it in a textbook fashion, which you cannot learn, because the only thing that does is it dulls that unique, beautiful, precious gift that you have inside of you, and it erodes your confidence. So I don't believe in that style of marketing. I don't believe in 5 steps you must take. I don't believe in I have a blueprint that you can follow. I do believe that you have a blueprint in your soul, and my gift is seeing that blueprint in you. Well, not seeing it, is feeling it and bringing it up to the surface in such a way that my clients feel it too. They're like, yes, this is what I need to do. And it goes beyond marketing. It's actually about building, it's creating a vehicle for your gift, creating a vehicle to deliver your gift in the world. And that includes your message, which I think message is a better word than marketing. I prefer to live my message, and I encourage my clients to live their message. And that just means doing what they're doing out loud, really, in whatever way that suits them. It doesn't have to be showing up in 3 groups on Facebook and posting 3 times a day, a value post and an engagement post and a promotion post. It does. To me, people can see through that formula. And when you try and squeeze your brilliance into that formula, you leave most of your brilliance out. And all you're ever really doing is giving people a flash of your brilliance, not in the flashing your knickers way. Maybe that is how you give a flash of your brilliance. So your message is how you give a flash of your brilliance, and that has to come from your soul. And if you don't like showing up on Facebook, then don't, because you're not going to flash your brilliance. You're going to flash your horror at being on Facebook. Go and network in person. Go and find places to talk, or be in Facebook on a different way where you chat with people in their threads and then you connect with them offline. Do whatever. Or, if you're an exhibitionist like us, go and do videos because you love doing videos. Don't sit and agonize over a post. And I could have 2 people with very similar looking businesses as clients, and they might both want to share their message in a completely different way. And my work is to help them find that way that works for them and give them the permission and the confidence to completely do it loud and proud their way, or not loud and proud if they're not a loud person. That's what it's all about for me. And like I say, it goes beyond marketing and message. This is also about how you deliver your gift. So like I say, your business is a vehicle to deliver that gift, and it's completely unique to you how you do that. So for some people like me, I love to work one-to-one. I can't imagine me ever doing a self-study program because I have no interest in that. I'm too nosy. I wouldn't get to see what goes on for these people. And the energy behind it wouldn't be a match, and it wouldn't call people in. But I have clients who thrive one-to-many. and they have huge year-long group memberships, and they do brilliantly in them, and their clients do brilliantly. And it's about them having the permission to do that and not going the high-end coaching route because everyone tells them they should go the high-end coaching route. So no, I don't believe in muggle marketing at all. I believe in living your message, living it, not just sharing it. You have to live this stuff. You can't be someone who is promoting a course on the ability to receive if you're sitting there unable to receive anything, because people feel the dissonance in that, don't they? So no, I don't think I believe in marketing anymore. And yet I believe in sharing your message, which some people might call marketing.
Because marketing is also communication, and it's also branding. And there's always, it's a huge thing about branding. You need to have, I do believe you need to have good branding to kind of stamp out your brand leadership, to be recognizable visually.
Yes.
Doesn't need to be that to come from the heart. It's more, branding is more the mind. It's what we see. It's how we perceive things. It's how we're conditioned and everything. And I just think sometimes that also gets, like you said, like blown up because you've got such a talent. I'll give you an example. I was just in London and I talked to everyone, and drives my best friend Betty. She's like, "Will you stop talking to everyone?" And I was in London now, and I walked up and there was this tall man, with these two beautiful dogs, a puppy and an older dog. And he goes, "You looking at my dogs?" And I'm like, should I answer? Shouldn't I answer? Should I answer? So I'm like, yeah, I am. And then we just started chatting and he goes, "No, we need to go for a coffee." So I said, "I have 45 minutes. I'm in that shop. You can either come or not." And then he came for a coffee and we were chatting, and then, what do you do and everything. And online, you've kind of mastered what you're going to say because you hide behind your words on when you're posting something. And then when you're physically offline somewhere and they ask me, "So what do you do?" And I was like, "I do soul brand marketing. I created soul brand marketing." And he goes, "What have you hippified marketing?" And I absolutely loved it because the perception that a lot of people have, whether it's online or offline, when someone that are healers or clairvoyants or clairaudience, sentient or shamans or whatever, and they come online and they've got such a gift, they've got really amazing gifts, and then being put off in inverted commas that they don't have a gift because they don't have marketing, communications or branding. That I also don't, that I like the term muggle marketing. I like that. It shouldn't be there. And that's also a form of, you can't take it away. It shouldn't be taken away because it gives you the courage to go, what's on the other side? If I'm feeling restricted in this, how will I feel if I'm on the other side? So how do you work with clients? Because you attract them. So you're not specifically doing any marketing communications, but you aren't videos.
Yeah, I'm very interested in the phrase you used, that you hide behind your words. And I, for a long time, hid behind my words. And because I was hiding behind my words, it was difficult for my clients to see me. And some got through in spite of my marketing. And now I'm very much about not hiding behind my words and being present in my marketing or my message, if you like. And that means there's not really a plan or a strategy. And yet there is. So the plan and the strategy, it's a practice. So I have a practice, and it's not a marketing practice and it's not a visibility practice. It's my practice for how I show up in the world. And it starts with tuning into my faith. And once I feel completely loved by the universe, I might think, hey, what do I want to do today? What do I want to share today? And my message is called through me. And I find if I just sit at my computer and think, write a post for your people, what do they need to know? I get right up in my head, and it's not pretty. It's not good, the stuff that comes through. But if I listen to something and a new idea comes to me, I'm all about innovation and the newness, and that excites me, and I can't help but share it. And sometimes what comes through doesn't feel like marketing, but I'm too excited not to share it, so I just share it. And often that's the thing that gets someone to contact me and say, hey, I want to talk to you. So yeah, what was the question?
I don't even know if there was a question. Oh, you were just saying about how people hide behind their words.
Yes, people hiding behind their words. And I think it's the same with the brand. And, we come in when we have this burning desire in our soul to get our message out into the world. And we somehow fall prey to this belief that we're going to find a strategy or a brand or a perfect client. And then it's all going to just be fine. And we can just show up with that every day and not really have to make any effort. And it's the opposite. It's actually about being present, about finding that presence within yourself, really connecting and feeling every day why you do this work and who it's for. And like I say, my work's called through me by speaking to people. So I speak to people a lot. And I find that, so yesterday, I can't remember who, I'm organising this Unsummit at the moment. And I was speaking to someone who's going to be a speaker on that. And words just started to come through me. And we were both like, oh, that stuff's really good. And I started writing it down. I hadn't hit record. I started writing it down. I was like, I'm going to write a post about this. And I did. That's how my marketing worked, by being present with myself, being present with my clients, being present with things that inspire me into newness. If it's not new, I'm bored of it. And I know we're supposed to have a core message and we're supposed to talk about it all the time, but I can't. It just bores me. I can't tell the same story 3 times to my friends. I'm bored after the second time and I want something new. And it's energetic. I think we call our clients in energetically. I think marketing is 99% done energetically. And actually the external piece is just to soothe our rational minds that we're actually doing something to bring in those clients. That's what I truly believe. And I somewhat think that apart from that purpose, soothing our logical minds, I think physical marketing is probably unnecessary. And that's bold.
Yeah, I think it's how I was speaking to another person that I was interviewing, and we were talking about how when you go traveling and what you take for granted as, you visit a country and they're also going to eat eggs and bacon, right? And you arrive there and they're going, well, they're not. And what's for me the norm is not the norm for somebody else. So what the norm might be for the term marketing might not mean the same thing. So for me, marketing is, I do think, well, not even think, I know we need all the tools. So the tools are all there. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to use all of them. So we're using the tool marketing, videos, past, emails, website, Facebook, social media, networking. We're still marketing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, because I believe we have different levels of marketing in terms of, actually it's not level, it's energy levels of marketing. So wherever you are in your energy is the kind of marketing that you'll be using, whether it's inspired or reactive or active, whatever it is, it's still over there. So, and we've been marketing since the world was created. I mean, it's always been around, whether it was bartering or something, there was always marketing. But like I said, it's different. What's normal for me, or the norm for me, might not be the norm for you, or the norm for your clients or my clients or anyone, or some guru or something that says the same thing. It doesn't mean that one thing is a must. Everything works together. It's just knowing, like you were saying, just knowing I need this now. I don't have to take everything in. I don't have to do 5 million courses so I can do a list and this and this and this. But you still want to communicate. So whatever you need to use, then you bring that in.
Yeah, and I think what happens is a lot of people get it the wrong way around. They think they have to learn the marketing and then get their message out. But actually, when you get inspired into action, and so here's a perfect example of what went on for me in the last 10 days. So, I mean, I'm evolving rapidly, and I know a lot of people are. And I was sitting here and I'd just finished doing something, and I was aware that my people are quite a specific set of people, and I hang about in a lot of entrepreneurial groups. And I just put up a post and said, kind of described my people, because they're a bit difficult to describe, and tagged in a few people and said, where do the ambitious, I don't think I used the phrase divine innovators, but that's who my people are. Where do all the ambitious divine innovators hang out? Tagged a few people in, and immediately one of the people I tagged came back and said, it doesn't exist. I think we need to create a supergroup. And then someone else used the word supergroup, and the few people that were on it, I was like, okay, there's people in there, and okay, we're doing a supergroup. And then it came through me, and we'll launch it with a summit. So we're launching the summit next week. Now, I don't know how to do a summit, but now is when I need to find out how to do a summit. Not 3 weeks ago when I thought a summit might be the thing that would make me lots of money. Now I'm inspired, and now I need to figure out how to do a summit. And actually it's an unsummit, and I'm purposely not learning how to do a summit because I don't want to do it the old-fashioned summit way. I'm doing it my way. I'm not having emails sign up for it. It's not just my way. 4 of us have got together, one who I'd never spoken to before. We knew we all had the same energy. We're holding this space together. It's going to be done live because I don't want a bunch of boring, tired, pre-recorded interviews with me asking the same questions. I want people to come into my group, live broadcast into my group, real value to very specific specifically to the people who are in that group to help them move their business up, not just one level, but 10 levels. And I want them to promote what they've got because my people need what they've got. I say my people, our people, we all need this stuff. And it's only going to last Monday to Friday because a 30-day summit with 400 speakers, oh, kill me now. And this is the thing. When the inspiration comes, then we find out how to do it. And actually, it's really easy. We're doing it into a group. We're not even having a page and a list to sign up to. We're going to do it via live stream. It's all there. We don't have to worry about it. We can just put our energy into holding this space to invite our people in. So yes, it is all there. There are all these different channels, but that's all they are. They're channels.
Exactly.
You know, if I am an artist, for example, maybe one day I do oil on canvas. Maybe one day my hands are in the clay and I'm sculpting something. I'm no less of an artist. And that's how we need to see marketing tools. They need to be like the paintbrush that we use to get our inspiration out into the world. It's not about learning marketing. It's about knowing who you are and knowing what you can't stop from bursting out of you. And when it's bursting out of you like that, the tools will appear and the people to help you will appear. And the motivation to learn to do something that you didn't know how to do before will no longer freak you out because the excitement and the wild horses couldn't stop you from getting this out into the world. That's when to learn marketing.
Yeah, that is so true. It's so true, Laura, because that's how we hold ourselves back. I always say done is better than perfect. Just do it. If you get the idea, just do it. And like you say, because that's just the way we are, we're always putting in our mind, but what if this happens? But what if this happens? But what if this happens? And I was listening to an interview with Pharrell Williams, and he was saying, you know, all of them, all the big stars, they're all like, you know, if I had listened to the naysayers, I would not be here today. And it's the same thing. You just got the idea. You were like, so where do I find them? Put it out there. Next thing you know, holy shit, I'm having a summit. Perfect. And then I learn about that. You know about the tools. So you know that you can do a summit and you can do emails and stuff like that, but you've chosen to keep it simple and to keep it real because that's who you are as well. So it's aligned with you as well. Because if you're doing something else, like you say, you don't attract your clients, your soul clients.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And you know, there's a place for recording and there's a place for lists. And who knows, this summit's going to be so amazing. By the end of it, I'll be like, we have to get this out into the world, and maybe we use it as an opt-in, and that's fine. I've used opt-ins, I've done webinars, I've done all that good stuff, and I've got great clients from it. It's about knowing what tool you need to create the work of art that is bursting out of you in that moment. Absolutely.
Are you more clairaudient or sentient or voyant? What do you...
I get confused with all the words. My thing is non-cognitive knowing, effortless non-cognitive knowing. I just get deep. And oftentimes it's called through me in words. So I don't know if there's a word for when you voice it. Well, channeling. I guess I channel stuff. So yeah, deep knowing. And when I'm in flow, when I'm talking, the words come through me. The knowing actually comes after I've heard the word.
Yeah.
But when I'm not talking, sometimes I just receive a deep knowing. I've been experimenting with this a little bit. I did some calls on Friday because I just became aware that I'm so not a coach. And I was a bit stuck in this whole thing of having to ask people questions and guide them to their own solution. And actually, it's bull because I already know what's going on. And I know that I can just... I guess I'm feeling into their energy because I'm not analysing, but I can kind of hang out on their Facebook feed a little bit, and that I can see what they really want and what they're denying themselves and what's causing them the problem. So I did a few calls on Friday and just got on and said to people, right, I'm not going to ask you any questions. Here's what's going on for you. And they were like, oh my God. So that's an example of when I received the knowing. And then when I get on the call, so yesterday I did another one of these calls because I ran out of time on Friday. I did another one yesterday and I just got into speaking, and I said to someone, you should do this group and you should call it this. And they were like, oh my God, how do you know that? How do you know that phrase that I write about and I say about all the time? And it just came through me. And then they were like, how did I not know that that's what I should do? Because I use this phrase all the time. That's the other thing I've noticed recently. People tell me, oh, I was wondering about that and you've just given me the answer. They've not asked me the question, but I'm a channel for answers. And sometimes the answers come in different layers. And I'll voice it a few different ways, and I think I'm waffling. I'm not. I think I'm channeling different entities and they're giving a slightly different view on it, and people get different things in the layers of understanding. Sometimes a concept that seems simple, and if I tried to write about it, people wouldn't get the depth of what I was saying. But when I talk about it, I know when it's happening because I talk and I look around and it's like, oh my God, everyone's listening to me. Like I'm saying something really important and I don't even know what I'm saying until I've heard it. So, yeah. So I don't know what the clair word for that is. That clair what? Is that clairvoyant? Is it?
Clairvoyant, yeah. I don't know.
But that's
I don't
seeing.
get
I don't see. I'm
sentient.
not, and I don't hear it. I don't hear it either. I just know, like a thought in your head. You don't hear your thoughts. You just think them. So I receive thought.
Yeah, I'm clairaudient and clairsentient, so I feel it here and then coming out. So it's all here.
What does clairsentient mean?
Here, feeling, senses. I don't know.
Sensation.
Yeah.
I get it in my solar plexus, so maybe I am clairsentient. I don't know. This is my point. So I work with all these big hitters that know about all of this shizzle. It goes on for me. I don't have the words for it, and I don't care. I own that I have all this power, and I have no need to know the words. And I'm not dismissive of the words. I'm excited to learn more about the words, but I don't need to have labels to be to have all this power.
Exactly.
And actually, that's what I want to lead in my Divine Innovators. So we're in a new paradigm, and new innovative ways are being called through us. And I speak to a lot of people who are like, oh, well, I've trained in Reiki, but I feel like I do kind of my own thing, and I don't know how to describe it, and I don't know how it fits. And I'm like, don't try and define it. You'll just diminish it.
Exactly.
Just show up and share glimpses of your brilliance and allow your people to come to you. Own your power in this. Don't feel like because you can't describe it, it's not powerful. It defies description. That's how powerful it is.
I love that.
Yeah.
You said something earlier on about how you came to love yourself and realizing that how much the universe loves you. And through that love from the universe and for yourself, how it's expanded you. What was it like before that? Were you more in doubt, in more conflict? How was it like you're also a mom, so how is it like with your kids? Was it, because the energy is everywhere, so it's not just in the business, it'll be in your life, it'll be in your health, it'll be in the finances. How was it extending, like by not loving yourself?
It's a real paradox, because I'm an ancient soul. I've always known on some level just how incredible and how cherished I am. And I have a tremendous capacity for joy for no reason at all. I used to talk about how I have these unreasonable moments of joy. So I've got all that. And I've got this brain that will really try and screw me over. And I guess particularly last year, when I really came into my faith and really surrendered to my intuition and my gifts, and I had a real roller coaster year last year when things were miraculous, and then my brain would somehow tell me, this is not real, it's not true, you're crazy, you can't believe in this stuff. And even though I knew on some level I did, I let my brain stop me. I let my brain overthink it all and ask, how can this be happening? How can this be real? How can this be true? And then suddenly I was shut down. I was out of alignment, couldn't even remember what it felt like to be in alignment, had no clue how to get back there. And that completely reflected in my life and in my business and how it looks. So in my business, it's easy when I'm like that. And I just do things and say things, and clients come to me quite miraculously, and I make loads of money. And then suddenly it would just stop. And I would be like, well, don't do that. Don't stop it. But you know what it's like when you're in flow, you're in flow, you can't imagine anything else. When you're out of flow, you're out of flow, you can't imagine anything else. And that's what my year looked like, really, for most of last year, probably from springtime last year until really December last year, actually. This year's been much more about flow for me. And what it looks like in my family is I withdraw. I withdraw my presence. And I even find I don't have any preference for what I eat or anything. I'm just like, I don't care. Food is a chore. I just withdraw from joy in my life, really. And it's not a conscious thing. It's not, oh, I'm in my head, I'm withdrawing from this. It's often I notice, God, I've not had an actual real conversation with my husband for 3 days. What's going on with me, kind of thing. And I don't feel like I've got the time or energy for the kids. So yeah, that behavior is an indicator for me of how in flow and how in faith I am. And now, having good, strong daily practices that bring me into faith and being aware of what happens when I'm out of faith, I'm able to correct and get myself back into faith. And it's not even a daily practice that you do in the morning and then it's done. It's being present throughout the day. And I know that when I am reaching for this bad boy and looking on Facebook, I don't have Facebook on here anymore, actually. I've taken it off. Facebook is my drug of choice. And I could disappear into Facebook and not speak to any real life people for days. And it's wonderful, you meet wonderful people like you. But I know when I'm abusing it, it's an addiction. And I don't say that with any, that's not a joke in any way. It's an addiction, the same as a substance addiction is for somebody else, because it's me avoiding myself.
But you can do the same offline. It's just like you say, it's a drug of choice. I mean, you can either hide behind people or amongst people or from people. It all just depends. It's something I certainly have to teach my children as well. Like, at the dinner table, no electronics, no TV happening, although that TV sometimes slips in while we're eating. But it's important we sit together and we talk, physically talk, even if they're getting annoyed with each other, the siblings. I don't know if your siblings get annoyed with each other.
Oh, yeah.
And taking time out and enjoying outside, that's really important, being present in the moment. That is something I had to learn.
Yeah.
Quite, because I can really just be in my own world. I've always been like that since a kid. I'm just in my own world. And then someone will come in or talk to me and I'm like, I don't even know who you are. Like in a daze. Really, really weird.
Yeah.
Your daily practices, because when most people will ask, so what are your daily practices? But these are things that work just for you. How did you stumble upon your daily practices that help you find your joy so that you're in the moment? Because you find your joy, you find being present through joy.
Yes. And I found them by experimenting. So last year, my group was called the Inspired Hustlers Manifesting Lab. My whole life's an experiment. And I was about just sharing the experiment that is my life. So I've experimented and I continue to experiment because I actually don't like routine. So for me to say, I get up at 6 a.m. and I journal for 20 minutes and I yoga for 10 minutes. Oh, I'm bored already. I can't even tell you about it. But I know I need to do different things to bring me. It's all about that feeling. I viscerally feel, I saw a quote somewhere, I think I've probably saved it on my phone, about goosebumps don't lie. So I know I can feel it now, actually, just if I do that with my fingertips and let my crown chakra open up a little bit. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll dance, and I love to wave my arms, and I feel like the magic from the universe, the particles are coming in through my hands and in through my head and down through my body, and my feet are grounded. So I'm grounded that's why I love dancing. It moves the energy and it grounds the energy as well. So dancing is something that I love to do. Listening to Abraham, listening to Kyle Cease at the moment. He's having a moment. He's amazing. But one of the first times I really felt the love of the universe was listening to Abraham. Talked about how, when you go out into nature and you see the ocean and you see it mystically, you see it through your eyes, through your senses and through your soul. And that source, that's all of creation appreciating its own creation. Oh, and when I heard that, I was outside when I heard it, and oh man, that's the first time the goosebumps really went crazy through me. So that's something that can bring me into myself. Mike Dooley, his notes from the universe, some of his notes, not every single time, but some of his notes, there was one recently that really brought me into that place of faith. And there's certain songs, the lyrics of certain songs bring me into that faith. So I try different things every day, and I go back to some of my old go-tos, and I have certain songs that work for me. But if you listen to the same song every day, it's like if you have perfume and you put your own perfume on, you don't smell your own perfume. So that's why I think I have to mix it up a bit. But I always know, and I'll use my intuition. There was a day a few weeks ago when I was freaking out about money, and there was this money that was supposed to come to me, and it kept getting delayed and delayed, and I was getting more and more freaked out, and I knew I was freaking myself out, and I was like, I have to do something to get out of this freaked out place, and I didn't have a clue what to do. And then just as I let the kids distract me a little bit, I just got the intuition to listen to Kyle Cease. And I went and listened to Kyle Cease as I was walking over to nursery and back home again. And everything, I just put it on YouTube, and 3 recordings came one after the other, and they were just what I needed to hear. And by the time I came home, I walked up the hill and I looked over the Tay estuary, and it was beautiful. And I just completely felt all of the love the universe has for me that's always available, but I can only let it in when I love myself. And I felt it, and it washed over me and it washed through me. And I came home, and there was a message saying that money was in my bank account.
Oh my God. I've got the goosebumps.
Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. I've done that with clients, energetically calling in clients. It's about the capacity to receive. You've done the work. Your message is out there. Just receive. Allow yourself to receive. So yes, in answer to your question, my daily practices really vary. Mirror work is something I do. When I'm in a funk, I do my mirror work, and I love all of myself, even if I messed up that webinar, and I'll look really in the mirror and really look at my face and look into my eyes and say, I love you, even though you're in your head and you're freaking out, and there's no need to be freaking out, and you know that this isn't real for you. And I love that you do all that. I love you the way I love my kids, and I feel the universe loving me that way. So I have I have an arsenal of daily practices, and I get to choose what I fancy doing that day. And if one thing doesn't work, I try something else. And if nothing works, then I'm going to discover something new.
Yeah. Well, that's how it should be. What don't you like about yourself? What don't you like about what you do?
What don't I like about what I do? When I get in my head, I mess everything up. But I'm coming to see, it's coming full circle. I'm coming to see that my mind is a huge asset. Just when I deploy it correctly, I am now learning, is when the intuition comes and invites my brain in to create. That's when it's time to come. Before the intuition, before the inspiration, the brain it's kryptonite. It's not good for me in that time. So yeah, that's the one, that need for control, which has relaxed and released a lot, but it's still there. And that's total fear of failure, is that need for control. And it's still there, and it still holds me back. And when I'm doing that consciously, or even at subconscious level, and can bring that to the surface, I can change it and I can work through it. Aware that there's so many more layers of that for me. And that's my work. That's what I've come here for.
Well, how do you, because you mentioned you help your people, I love that, you help your people connect with the human side, because they're in their spirit side. So you help them connect with the human side. So you're, I think, obviously dealing a lot with your human side, because this is what they need to know. So it helps them. I mean, it helps you and it helps them at the same time. So how do you help them? Let me talk to you in human talk.
Yeah.
This is how we talk.
Yeah. So all of the work I do is really down to earth and really grounded in what's actually going on here and now, in the moment, in your life, in your business, in your message, in your market, and everything, because it's all a reflection of what's going on inside. And we don't attract what we want. We attract what we are, and we are consciousness. And a lot of people are really focused on, having vision boards and having all this stuff in their consciousness. And when it's not there, it's because something different is going on for them unconsciously. And I help them see that unconsciously. And the key to that is through all the areas they're not living their truth, because that shows in their fears. So where they're not asking for what they want. And a huge example is asking for the sale. So where people aren't asking for the sale, and I take them to that sales conversation that they had, where they knew the client was ideal for them, they knew they could really help the client, they really wanted to work with them, and they ended up just finishing the call saying, hey, well, it was great to meet you and I'd love to work with you sometime, and blah, blah, blah. I take them back to that moment and have them re-experience that moment, not remember it, actually viscerally re-experience it. And when they re-experience it, I'm able to help them actually uncover all of the thoughts that went through their head in that nanosecond that stopped them from acting. And there's a lot of thoughts. There's a whole lot of stuff goes down there. And even from all of those thoughts, there's a whole nother level. And I take them all the way down the rabbit hole. And everyone goes down that rabbit hole and expresses in some way that, if they can't make this sale, then they shouldn't be here. So it's horrible. It's deep, dark, horrible stuff. Everyone expresses it in a different way. And how they get from not asking for the sale to the bottom, it's a different shape and flavour for everyone. And knowing that asking for the sale doesn't mean you're going to die doesn't help you. Because we all know we're not going to die if we don't get the sale. But we're not all millionaires asking for the sale every day. And it's the stuff that goes on in between. So I help them see all that, and that's a revelation. And I help them see that 99.9% of it is not true. And as soon as they see it's not true, it's like, oh, that's not true. And that's good, but that's only part of it. The other part of it is, okay, so if that's not true, what is true? So for example, I'll just give you my example. So I've had this last year, I went through this phase of people would be signing up for my webinars and I would freak out that not enough people were going to sign up for my webinar. And I could be sitting in front of this laptop watching people join the list, going up to 81, 82 people signed up, whatever. And I'm sitting there watching the number go up, freaking out that not enough people are signing up. And so I would take myself through my own process. And if not enough people sign up, then I won't make a sale. And if I don't make sales, then my message is wrong. And if my message is wrong, I'm not attracting the right people. And if I'm not attracting the right people, I'm never going to make any sales. And if I never make any sales, I'm going to lose my business. And if I lose my business, I'm not going to be able to feed my children. And if I'm not able to feed my children, I'm not able to provide for my children, then I'm scum. I'm a complete loser and I don't deserve to be here. And that's what's going on for me. That's what's driving that panic in that moment. So that's not true. And I do love myself, even if I never make another sale in this business again. And even if I never make another sale in this business again, I have already changed hundreds, possibly thousands of lives. Nothing can ever change that. And I'm proud of that. And that's the truth. And even if I lose my business, I'll never stop doing this work because I can't stop doing this work. And even if my kids have to do without some things for a while because my business fails, I love that I've shown them what it is to go for your dreams and keep going even when things are tough. And that's more valuable than any material possession I can give them. And that's the truth I'm talking about. And when I stand in that truth, that's where all of my power is. And it's not dependent on any circumstances at all. And it's not, I think positive thinking gets a bad rap because what we tend to do is, you'll be sitting there in panic, not enough people are signing up for my webinar. And positive thinking would come in and say, it's a great webinar, everyone's going to sign up for your webinar. And you're like, I don't even believe that crap. It's about getting to your own truth in your own words and feeling the shift. And actually, it's the same thing we talked about with the daily practice, because I can feel the specific things that I have done that make me proud to be me, that make me love me, that the universe loves me for, that the universe put me here for. And when I'm in that energy, I'm pretty much unstoppable. So that's what I do myself, and that's what I do with my clients as well. And actually, I can do it better with my clients than I can myself because I can see their blind spots more than I can see my own. And, obviously I work with coaches and mentors that show me the blind spots that I can't see. But that's how I work, with a very practical, real fear that you're dealing with right now that's holding you back in your life or your business right now. We discover what you're making it mean, because that's what you're really afraid of. And you're making it mean that because of something that probably happened to you in your childhood. And when you get into the truth, and the truth that I just described there for myself, that's just a small part of the truth. There's loads more truth. And I encourage my clients to get really into that truth and do that work every day and stand firm and solid in that truth and build their entire business from that truth. Because when we feel like we need to do marketing that we don't like, that comes from fear. And it's not your truth. And this is where genuine soul marketing comes from. When you're in that truth and you decide, I'm going to do a summit, but it's going to be an unsummit. That's coming from the truth that I want to draw in these people because these people need this space. And actually, I thought I was going to join a space that had other people that I want to hang out with, but they've said to me it doesn't exist and they want me to lead it, and I'm going to step up and lead it. And that's what happens when you're in your truth and you don't have any particular attachment. That's soul marketing, baby.
That's all marketing. And also knowing, that wouldn't work what you're doing if you weren't talking to your people. So it's so important knowing who it is, your soul clients, and knowing what you're good at, and what they're good at, and how it works together as a strength. And even if you have weaker strengths, that's fine, but you're still working together. But, if I was just speaking to anybody like this guy that I met on the road in London, and he's like, oh, you've hippified soul brand marketing. It's kind of like, yeah. And then it becomes a thing of convincing. So you're always justifying your whole thing. And it's like, just be easy because, not because I'm easy, but you know what I mean? I'm easy, baby. But you know what I mean? But going from that point, yeah, I love that. I find that extremely, extremely important. And that's a USP of Laura. Yeah, definitely. Because that's what attracts then the clients, and you're attracted to them as well.
Oh yeah, it's completely a two-way thing. They call my work through me and I call them in through my message. Yeah. It's a co-creation. It's absolutely 100% a co-creation. And I think we've moved away from the paradigm where a coach or a teacher has to be up here and the client has to be down here. My clients all have to scare me a little bit.
Same.
I see that they've maybe sent me in an application for a call with me, and I sit and look at it and think, what the hell can I actually teach you? You're amazing. And in that instant, I know you're my client, because that client that is more accomplished than you think you are worthy of, that client calls through stuff that you didn't even know you were capable of. And that's why it's a co-creation. It's beautiful.
That's what I love about this whole movement. It's not just happening now. It's been happening for a long time, evolving, but how so many people tell you should only just focus on one thing and that's it. And you're like, I'm multi-talented. You're multi-talented. So many of us are multi-talented, and just focusing on one thing, you wouldn't be able to call and work with all these different elements. Otherwise, you'd really still just be stuck as a business consultant. Whereas now you're doing the business, you're doing the mindset, you're doing the energy work. There's so many elements that are working together.
Yeah.
The good of, even if it's one person or 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000, who knows? But that's your main goal.
Yeah.
Make sure that they find the joy that you're finding.
And my client needs all of this. Your client needs a different mix of all that goodness.
Exactly.
And it's knowing that, because, traditional marketing tells us go into the marketplace, find out what it wants and deliver it. Well, that's playing to the gallery. And I don't know if you've seen that David Bowie clip about why you should never play to the gallery.
Yes.
Because this is your art expressing itself through you. And marketing tells us to play to the gallery. And it's in the book, which actually in my notes that I gave you, the book that I recommend is The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And he writes a chapter about being a hack in terms of writing. And a hack is someone who second guesses what their audience wants and delivers it. And yet, if you think about traditional marketing, that is what marketing tells us to do. But what we need to do is tell the world our message and attracting the people that resonate with that. And it's as simple as that. And it's the most difficult thing you'll ever do.
That is so true. That is so true. And all those wise words, I mean, all these words have been here, even like Napoleon Hill, all these things have been here way before our time. And it's all been truths that we've just, drink milk type of thing. It's good for you.
Yeah.
Do marketing conventional way because it's good for you. But what's good for the goose isn't always good for the gander. And it's finding then your sweet spot. So I wanted to ask you because we're coming near the end. I can't believe it. And I haven't even asked you all my questions I wanted to answer. God, it's so exciting.
And yeah, I've given you all the answers anyway.
Well, yeah.
That's the way it works.
I love the fact that you wanted to become a ballet dancer and you became medical research scientist. That is amazing. And how have you used that in your business? Well, obviously, your daily practice is you dancing around.
Not ballet at all anymore. So I guess, my scientific brain wants to know how things work and make them better. So I discovered recently that I'm a blueprinter. I'm one of the souls who actually designed what life on Earth is to be. And that's why I want to know how stuff works at molecular level. And that's how I work with my clients. I show them their gift at molecular level, and I show them exactly how that gift fits in with very specific qualities in their client at molecular level. It's really that level of detail that fascinates me. I want to get down in the microscope and really see how it works, and it's powerful.
Are your clients also wanting to get down, like see that bird's eye view and then really go down and then rip it apart so you can find out how it works?
I
Was
think
that more your role?
That's more my role, really, to show them their brilliance, to really show them their brilliance in a way that's not woolly or fuzzy at all, because they know they've got this amazing gift, and they know it can't be reduced down to being for accountants who are between 45 and 37 and 45 and do this, that and the other. They know it can't be reduced in that way, and yet they hear this message, you have to niche, and it feels like cutting off their arm. But actually, that's not what niching is about. Niching is about intimately knowing your client and intimately knowing exactly how you create transformation in the way that that client needs it, in a way that no one else can do it. But none of us can really see our gift on our own because we take so much of it for granted. We think everyone can do it. So it does take someone outside, and it takes someone who can see it at that level of detail. And the thing I do, the feeling into it thing, is so powerful that I don't fully have words for. But the result is that my clients then know exactly who their client is and can identify that by speaking to them. They can even put a message out there that says, my client is this, 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 and this, but they're not this. And having that level of clarity is huge for them. And then being able to articulate that, that's their message. That's the elusive thing that they've been trying to find and trying to boil down into a USP that feels like it has to be in bullet points. And it doesn't necessarily fit in bullet points, but when you can articulate it, not necessarily, it's not necessarily about an elevator pitch. Like I say, it's more about giving glimpses of your brilliance in different places that kind of plant the seed.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's all these things we could talk for ages.
I know.
So tell me something that's true that almost nobody agrees with you on.
Well, everyone agrees with me in the end. Because I keep going until they do.
That's brilliant.
Something that's true that nobody agrees with me on. So I recently saw the movie Trainspotting 2, which is a movie about junkies. And, I'm not really good with negativity and difficult things, but I completely love it. And I called that movie through the director, what's his name? Danny Boyle. I called that movie through him, and I know that to be true. It wasn't just me. All of the fans called that movie through him, and I know it and I can feel it. And it was everything it needed to be and more. And even to the point that the main character, Renton, he said he had a daughter, but he didn't really. And the daughter was called Laura. I was in the movie.
Oh my God, goosebumps.
And that's true. And I know people doubt it, but I also know people feel it and believe it as well. Because everything that's being created in the universe is being called through us. Mm-hmm. And I was part of that co-creation. And I love it.
Freaking cool. That is something interesting I've learned today. Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So I've got 2 more questions that I ask the guests right at the end. All right. So I personally have my core values and words which are very close to me. And I'd love for you to tell me your emotions or what emotions are conjured up when you hear these words. So you need to fill in the blank. Okay. So creativity for you is?
Freedom and joy. And unboundness. And inspiration. And innovation. Absolutely innovation. Bleeding edge newness.
Love that.
Yeah.
Cool. Passion for you is?
It's that stuff you can't keep in. It's bursting out of you. Wild horses couldn't stop you from getting it out into the world, from doing something about it. That's passion.
Wisdom for you is?
The deep soul's knowing that is very, very grounded, that you don't need any explanation for. You just know it to be true.
I like that. So, how do you want to change the world or challenge the world doing what you do?
I want my divine innovators to rise up and innovate and bring in the new paradigm, activate the 5th dimension here on Earth. So just a small little goal.
Teeny tiny.
And I'm calling it through in the same way I called through Trainspotting 2. That was small fry. This is big fry. And I'm only a part of what's calling it through. It's a beautiful, perfect co-creation. And I love being part of it.
Oh, that's amazing. And I thank you very, very much for being here and for doing what you do.
My pleasure.
It's amazing. Making the world, raising up the energy and re-empowering your people to know you do have the joy, you do have the love, you can do this, and it's not necessarily dependent or codependent on whatever's outside of you. It's all within you. It's just asking. I always say you need to ask the right questions, and then you'll get the right answers. Thank you very much for being here today. I'm really, really, really pleased that we got to meet finally.
Me too.
And I was able to interview. That's so awesome. I hope to see you again soon. We'll talk again in about a half a year. I don't know. That just came out. It'll be another half a year. Then we'll be talking again. There'll be another huge uprise.
Oh, thank you so much for creating this. Wonderful.
I'm very excited because you don't need to be a big brand in order to be heard. You can also be heard in this form as well.
Absolutely.
Because we're big inside.
We are infinite.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I'll speak to you again in 6 months. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.